Hi. So, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy you're here too. Um, how was October? How was November treating you? I can't believe we're already like in the middle of November. What the hell? Um, October was a wild ride for me personally. We had those two eclipses. Uh, man, you know, good stuff, but like overwhelming stuff too. So, just trying to take it one day at a time. So, anyway, I hope you're doing well. Tell me everything. Tell me how it's going for you. This time around, I don't think I've ever used this deck on this channel. Um, it was one of the, not first, not it. I got it sooner than I probably should have because that's how I roll. Um, and it's really cool. So it's double sided. It has, you know, kind of the front facing view and the back facing view, which I don't, it's just kind of cool. So this is the vice versa tarot, and this is the woman in total control of herself. And obviously, if you are not a woman, it's still going to apply to you, but it just so happens that, obviously this deck, that's the name of it. But again, I've had this for a couple months too, and it kept kind of calling my name. So I've responded in true manifesting generator form. So without making this intro too long, we'll get into it. I thought I put in the intro. This is why I do those intros, because repeating myself 12 times is just, I can't do it. I physically cannot do it. So I think I only said this in the first video that I did, which was the 2-4 video, I think. So it is what it is. I'll try to remember to do it from here on out. But I usually have a little like blurb or like something to tell you about your profile, right? And I don't have that this time. My thought was that I would ask you to share your experience, your understanding, what you learned about your profile. Maybe even if it doesn't even have to do specifically with your profile, it could be something about your design. But I wanted to, what is going on with my throat? That was so weird. So I wanted to invite you to share. And more so, I love reading other people's perspectives on everything. I would rather like read through Reddit forums than read, from like a scientific site or something, because I want firsthand accounts. So anyway, not just for me, but of course anybody else that would be reading your comment too, just how sharing your experience can help somebody else and bring clarity or understanding to also somebody else's stuff. So if you feel comfortable sharing, that would be great. And this is the reading for the 3-6 or the martyr role model profile. If you don't know your profile, there's going to be a link in the description below to get your human design body graph, and your profile is going to be just one element that's listed on there. You'll see. But if you're here because you felt drawn to it, great. That works too. So let's get you an oracle card, and then of course we will pull out the tarot. Ooh, we have the Oracle. Interesting, especially seeing as we're doing tarot reading. What was that? Psyche. Interesting, because, and this just, it came flying off the top, but it's interesting because who did I just... Was it the 4-6 or somebody? 4-1. Somebody just got that card. So I don't know. That's just kind of interesting. Maybe there's a message in there for you too. But that's almost kind of, she almost kind of looks like Mona Lisa. A little bit. But we will read more about that once we get your tarot out. I guess we'll probably leave that in the reverse, the way that it came flying out. That's the 8 of Swords. Now, no, I just kept hearing, no. Because anyway, I mean, like, these cards are kind of set up in that way, like, you know, yeah, no. The 8 of Swords, and with these cards, since there are images on both sides, I'm going to, you know, whatever side it shows, we're going to keep it there. Like, I'm not going to flip it over. I don't know. I feel, I just heard in my head, obviously. So, good times. We have the 4 of Cups, the Knight of Swords, 5 of Swords. Interesting. A lot of heady shit going on, mental. We have the 10 of Pentacles and the 3 of Wands. Who is this? 7 of Wands, King of Swords, 2 of Wands, Knight of Wands, 8 of Wands. Okay, interesting how a lot of swords on the table, a lot of wands at the bottom of the deck. Let me make sure everything is in frame. Okay, looks good enough. Sorry about the glare on there too. These are very glossy cards, and there's not really much that I can do about like changing my my lighting. So sorry about that. Hopefully you can see the card okay. It's kind of dark. So, okay. The book says you already know. The oracle is in you. The time might call for these cards or tea leaves or runes, but all of those are means to an end, and the end is alive and well in you. She is known as she who knows, and more commonly, intuition. If you can't get a clear reading from your tools, or if you feel uncomfortable with what those tools are telling you, consult her. A witch trusts her intuition above all other sources and understands her ability to trap her inner knowing. Okay, that's not what that said. A witch trusts her intuition above all other sources and understands that her ability to tap her inner knowing is the ultimate trump card. Let yourself sit quietly. A wise poet once said, "The master doesn't seek fulfillment. Not seeking, not expecting. She is present in what can welcome all things." This quiet surrender is often the exact condition that allows us to hear her voice. Tap your inner witch mastery. Go within and trust your knowing of what you hear there. Which is very kind of interesting because of all of this air on the table here. And swords have to do with our mind, thoughts, ideas, inspiration. It's divine truth, you know, objective truth. It's also, I see swords as being the card or the suit of ego, because that's generally where we hear our ego is in our minds. And our ego is created by the stories that we attach to experiences, feelings, whether they're ours or not, our stories, or whether they were almost kind of like imprinted onto us, like if somebody else gave us that story, right? It's like, you are this way, you're too much, you're whatever, you know. And we just kind of took that as truth instead of not. So we start with the 8 of Swords. I love that we started with the 8 of Swords, because so in this depiction, what in the world is going on with my throat in this reading too? Like, also, I mean, throat, regardless of whether you have a defined or undefined throat, it's almost kind of like, you know, are there conversations or things that you want to say that you are preventing yourself from saying or from doing? Or is it like a matter of oversharing or something along those lines? Because my throat was fine until I started doing this reading. And then all of a sudden I'm like stuttering. My throat is actually kind of sore. It feels weird too. Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe there's even something going on thyroid, because that's just in the throat. I don't know. I'm just saying it out loud. So anyway, on this side of the card, it does look like she's bound or trapped, right? But the side that we got, and this is kind of the lesson about the 8 of Swords, is that you might feel bound. You might feel trapped. Because this is what we do, right? Like our minds have this ability to just kind of trap ourselves in, you know, like there's no other choice. I don't know what to do. There's no options. There's whatever, right? But the lesson with the 8 of Swords is that you're one decision away. There's literally a sword here. If they wanted to, they could get out of this situation, out of this mindset. There's this eagle here too that might have some sort of, if my iPad wasn't like buried right now, I would look up the symbolism for an eagle. And if I remember, I'll try to do that and put that in the comments. Just, you know, like looking for the totem meaning for an eagle. But it does feel like even maybe a message coming in. There's this sense of freedom too that, you know, like with an eagle, or even just a bird in general, right? Like even just getting a bird's eye view, allowing yourself to see things, like separate yourself from the situation and, you know, allow yourself to see the bigger picture of it. Also, with the 8 of Swords, like, I think there is a lot of information in the 8 of Swords, because when you are in the 8 of Swords, there is an opportunity for you to kind of look at your own shit. And, you know, what is it? Like, what are the stories that are keeping me stuck? What am I telling myself that, you know, is preventing me from moving forward? Or what is my mindset around this situation? And why am I in that mindset? Right? Like, I mean, it is a lot of heady stuff, but it is, again, it's like allowing yourself though to work through it. In the realm of human design, it's said that you are never supposed to make a decision from your headspace, because your head center is a pressure center. So, you know, regardless of whether it's defined or not, of course, but it is a pressure center. So something drops into your consciousness, right? It could be an idea, it could be a thought, could be some sort of inspiration, whatever it is. and what you're supposed to do with it, regardless of what your strategy or what your type is. You let that filter down into your strategy and authority. Not everything that drops into your mind needs to be acted on or done something with. So, it's allowing your strategy and authority to help guide you with whatever is dropping down into your consciousness. And we have the Five of Swords underneath it. And, maybe there was an argument or some sort of disagreement that came up, because I see the Five of Swords as being like the card, it's the battle of wits. Fives are also, they're transitionary energies, so they're nothing to get stuck in. This side, clearly this person is defeated, it feels like, or exhausted. There's no swords in their hands. This guy is holding 3 swords. There's 2 swords on the ground. And from this angle, this other person is walking away. This could be you. This could be somebody else. This could be you, or it could be somebody else, right? It depends on your situation. But maybe you feel like you are having to just mentally work through something with somebody. And, the Five of Swords, it generally does involve other people, right? Like there's other people on this card. It could be you against the world, type of thing. But again, if there is just one other person, 2 other people, whatever it is, there could be some sort of conflict. Maybe there's some sort of expectation on you, and that's why you're in this 8 of Swords energy of just, like these people just keep like hounding me, or they, whatever, want me to make decisions, or whatever the case may be. It's also nighttime. And to me, nighttime is subconscious. Like during the day, the sun is the illuminary. At night, the moon is. And in tarot, the moon is about our emotions, for one. It's attached to Cancer or Pisces, depending on who you ask. It's also like secrets, or just not having all of the information yet. Like the moon card in tarot says, there are things that have yet to be revealed to you. There's a bit of uncertainty that comes with it. This could also just be dream state. You could just be like working through something in your sleep, or, maybe something is disturbing your sleep in some capacity, or even, like I said, it's subconscious also. So it could just be something that you're working through in your own head. We have the 4 of Cups here. Cups having to do with our emotions. All of these cups are tipped over, right? On this side, there's a person looking at these cups, but on this side, there's this ship. So it's almost even being like, there's this sense of waiting for your ships to come in, or it is cups. So it does have to do with our emotions, how we are feeling about things. The 4 of Cups generally talks about like this feeling of boredom or lethargy, like, almost even disappointment. And maybe you have worked your way through these 4 cups and you're like, just waiting for something else, like looking forward. Because even she's looking forward, he's looking forward in this card, right? There's only, well, technically 3 cards out here that are actually looking at us. So these are all like future focused too. You could be wanting to travel, have some sort of like adventure, even is how that feels. It also even kind of feels like, something just being out of reach. It's not like, I guess you could probably swim to that boat. But, just kind of feeling like I don't have much going on right now. And it's like I'm waiting for this thing to show up. Like kind of that thing that just makes me feel excited again. Even going back to this oracle card, this is like, that card was saying like you already know. And maybe, you're wrestling with that knowledge, because it is hard listening to your intuition. It's hard listening to your strategy and authority, It's especially if it's like, I don't even know how to do this, or I just can't intuit, or I can't imagine how it's going to play out or whatever, right? But going back to this oracle card, it's like you probably already know what you want to do. You probably know what this boat is. Maybe this boat is just sitting here waiting for you. Like, hello, we can't come any closer to the shore because we're going to get stuck, or whatever happens to boats if they go up on land, like maybe they're waiting for you. The 10 of Pentacles having to do with our money, how we get it, how we save it, how we spend it. It's our physical time, like where are we physically showing up in our lives? It's our health, our physical body. And the 10 of Pentacles is reaching a point of success. And maybe that's what's coming in with this boat, right? Is this level of success. This card to me feels more like receiving recognition, because the 10 of Pentacles also has to do with like generational wealth, legacy. This could have something to do with your legacy also, like if you care about legacy. I mean, it could even have to do with children, whether you're the child or you have children. Because on the other side is this old gentleman with this dog, right? So the focus is more just on them, whereas this side, the focus is on these two standing here. So it just has this like feeling to me about, again, recognition. And it doesn't feel this way, but it could even kind of toe that line of needing acceptance or validation from somebody that is like an elder or an authority in your life. But the focus is on these two. And it's, it's like they're smiling. He's got his hand on her shoulder. They're standing there kind of looking like a unit, right? Like looking like a team. And what is so interesting is that, there's a woman on this card, woman presenting, right? I mean, that's what it looks like. There's a male on this card. So this could have to do with a relationship. And I say that because then on the 10 of Pentacles, it's almost kind of like this gentleman, because he has longer hair. He's got longer hair. She's got longer hair in this depiction, right? I mean, it could be the same people that are, this could be you, this could be, the person that you're dealing with. This would then like almost kind of feel like a mediator, or coming to some sort of like common ground. And especially too, like with these cups spilled out, it's almost like putting your cards on the table. But in the sense of, and I guess that saying is kind of the same thing. It's like putting your feelings out there. And of course, the sails on here are white flags. It could signify, like coming to some sort of truce or some sort of agreement. That's just kind of interesting. I don't know. That may not be for everybody, but I feel like it's just interesting how we have these two different, gendered, kind of figures. And here they are standing here. And it's almost kind of like, though, too, are they, they're there smiling, but one of two things. Either they have worked their shit out, right? Or they're putting on a united front for whatever reason. It's like, just smile, appear to look happy, right? This could even just be, I'm gonna tell you whatever is coming to me. This could be, like making a decision, especially with this oracle card. This could be making a decision, or even just admitting or allowing yourself to admit to yourself, I guess, that the love is gone. That there is nothing else here. Because, again, right, even with this 10 of Pentacles, it's like you're doing it for other people, like just kind of putting on a show, for the sake of other people. I don't know. Then we have the Knight of Swords and the Three of Wands. The Knight of Swords moves fast. They're the fastest moving knight in the whole tarot. This side feels more battle-y. This side feels, there's these blackbirds going through here, or swallows is kind of what those look like to me. There's the bird aspect again. This could be even like opening communication, because swords are also about communicating your thoughts, your ideas, your perspective. And with it paired with the Three of Wands, the Three of Wands is about taking actions towards your goals. This card also talks about broadening your horizons. The Two of Wands is planning for the future. It's like, okay, I got the Ace of Wands, which is, this new passion, this new creative spark, and then the Two of Wands is like, okay, great. What am I going to do with it? The Three of Wands is starting to take those steps towards it. We can see on here that there's this yin and yang, that's water and fire. That talks about balance. There's this wand or this cane that is lit up with all of these symbols, so it feels like there's even protection in a certain capacity. So this could be, communicating or even taking action on your ideas that move you forward. Having an idea, putting actionable steps towards it. This could even just be making a I don't want to say like a split decision, because it's not like that, but it's just like that, your mind is made up, you know what you're going to do, and then you start doing it here, whatever it is, right? And it's kind of like, with this oracle card, it's like you already know, what it is. I don't. And with the Seven of Wands at the bottom of the deck, this talks about standing your ground. What's interesting too is that there's nobody holding these wands here. They've been defeated, I guess, too. This has like we're literally a victory kind of feel to it. He's standing on top of this rock. Maybe you have felt like you have had to defend your position for a period of time, or you feel like you've been in this energy of having to defend the actions, that because that is the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands talks about defending your actions. It talks about standing your ground. And I see these other 6 wands as being like other people's projections or other people's ideas, other people's fears, doubts. And you're like, none of that has anything to do with me, right? And even too with the 7 of Wands coming after the 3 of Wands, like whatever this is with the Knight of Swords and the 3 of Wands for you, you might have to be in this energy of defending it. We have the King of Swords behind. And also too, notice how, they're looking at us now, right? The King of Swords is the highest expression of the suit, being very clear in thought. Look how big this sword is too, right? Like the sword of truth. Even in it also even feels like a bit of a defensive, kind of showing your not necessarily strength, but like your reserve or your, what is a word that I'm like looking for? Because why have this big ass sword standing in front of you if you didn't want to show somebody like, I'm not messing around? The King of Swords is going to be very calculated in the sense of, it's like, this mental game. Even going back to this 5 of Swords, right? Like they're the master of chess type of thing. They are comfortable taking calculated risks. They rely on their knowledge and their intelligence. There's a leadership quality to a king, right? And like, look on this side, there's all this lightning and thunder. There's a storm. None of that is happening on this side. So it's not like it's going to be like turbulent or that you're going to have to defend yourself against a storm coming. That's not it. But it's almost kind of like just knowing that you are going to have to stick to your laurels, I guess. We have the 2 of Wands. Like I said, 2 of Wands is about planning for the future. So whatever it is, right? It's allowing, there could be new opportunities coming up here. Also, we're looking at this character. We're not looking at their back. The Knight of Wands, 8 of Wands. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I will talk to you soon. Bye.